What's up? I'm Ayla.
This is Let's Talk BL, a Boys Love podcast.
On location in Bangkok, Thailand at the Sheraton Grand Sukhumvit Hotel.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
We left the country.
We left the country. We're no longer in the United States of America, people.
I mean, it's season 3. We said we were going to go
New season, new theme. Right?
Truly.
And so
the only thing we could do is to leave the studio.
Our theme, of course, is on location. We are on location. We are in the great outdoors.
We are. We're sitting by our pool at the hotel. Our pool.
This is
specifically our pool.
Not sponsored, by the way, but excellent hotel. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. If you're exploring Bangkok, it's actually connected to a BTS station.
Yes.
You'll never get rained on, my friends.
Yeah. We are here during rainy season, but honestly, we've had the best luck with the weather. It's sprinkled a little bit here and there at night.
Yeah.
And then we were in a mall, in all the malls yesterday.
So many, literally 4 malls.
And there's covered walkways from
everywhere.
Where did we start? Central World.
The only time we got rained on was when we were walking through Siam Square.
Well, and what's wonderful,
and it was like a sprinkle,
is that you have to walk across a
like an open
area to get from Siam Paragon to Siam 1. However, they set up these nice little tunnels for everybody when it rains, so you don't have to like go outside.
You do. So let's get started.
Yes.
The first episode of season 3 is all about the fan experience. The fan experience in Thailand.
You step off the plane and you're already
in a fan experience because there are AIS play.
Yes.
Ads everywhere. So BKPP immediately. You step on the plane, booking a PP.
I don't know if you saw this moment because when we got out of customs, like we were in Thailand, we were looking for an ATM, we were trying to get a car, and there was this moment that happened with this group of Thai people, and they were, I guess, either saying goodbye or doing something, and there was a moment between these two boys where they were like forcing them to hug, kind of like we do in the States, right? Where like if like you've gone on a trip with a group and like you're like, okay, say goodbye, like you're encouraging affection between people, and these two boys hugged and literally the whole crowd goes, oh. It's funny. So I was like, what is this BL?
What is this BL?
Real life.
So
yeah,
we are going to cover some very specific fan experiences because we have had some very specific fan experiences because we've been here for 3 days, and
this is the start of the 3rd day,
and so we did lots of things very quickly.
so many things so quickly.
We went to the Nail Tech to the Stars, ATP's Nail Tech.
Yes.
And we're going to talk all about that and how awesome she is.
Yeah.
We went to the Love Out Loud Fan Fest with the pillars.
Yeah.
All 4 pillars
of
I guess 8 pillars, but the 4 pillar couples of GMMTV.
Yes.
Not only did we go to this fan fest, not only did we experience the fest of it all, the show of it all.
Yeah.
We also, in truly a luck of the draw, won a photo with the pillars.
Yes.
And so I was you were kind enough to let me do this.
Yeah.
And
it's Ayla's birthday, so I was like, let's give her all the birthday things. I never have to buy her a birthday present again, and you'll find out why soon.
And so basically
all the things.
Okay. I have the craziest story about this, but then we also went to a mall appearance, right?
Yes.
We went to a mall appearance. We did that
with Jung Dung, which was awesome because we had interviewed them before. So we were like, this will be so cool because we like know them. So if we have any type of interaction, potentially we'll get like we're in Thailand, we talk to you, we'll tell you all about that.
And then we also went to see all of the like things that are just everywhere, right? That you know and that you see in the for the fan experience. So we're going to talk about all of this. We don't have a ton of time to record because we're booked and busy here in Thailand.
Amazing.
Oh,
okay. So
let's get going.
Yeah, let's start with like ads. You see ads everywhere. Like,
oh yeah. Again, the minute you step on the plane, BKPP. It was wild.
We talked about playing this game. Highly recommend if you come to
BL Boy Bingo.
Yes, if you come to Thailand with a BL friend, you should pick 2 games. Either pick a boy and be like,
every time you see that boy,
you
get a bingo. You get like a tick
mark. Or you can play bingo. You can play BL Boy ad bingo, which is every time you see a boy in an ad, you take a photo with it, like you claim it, and then at the end of the day, whoever has the most photos with the most ads gets a prize.
Sure. We have not played either of these games except for the fact that Win Medawin is literally everywhere in Thailand. Like,
yes,
you cannot walk 2 steps without seeing a picture of Win's face.
Truly.
And so I was like, he's my BL boy. Like, bingo. Every time I see him, I just go, bingo.
BKPP, Brightwin, and Golf are the 3 that I've seen pretty consistently. When you're in the malls, you see a lot of Yinwar, you see a lot of Omnon's pretty.
But I mean, Win Meadow. If we're talking about one singular boy, I would say it's BK and Win Meadowin that I've seen the most.
Yeah. On the print ads, they're on all the print things.
Right. So like the billboards, the stuff in the train stations, the digital billboard, they're everywhere. But it's super fun because literally, actually, we had the cutest experience. So we were at Chatuchak Weekend Market, and there's an indoor building, and we're walking past. I want to say it was like a Watson's, which is like if you're from America, we don't have Watson's, but it's a drugstore similar to like Walgreens or something.
Yeah.
And literally from outside the store, I gasped and pointed, and ran inside, and I got into the front, and I just went, PP, because it was the first time I had seen PP not on like a digital billboard, right? It was just like a picture.
Yeah, it was like a cutout. It was for the
mascara, the Sky High mascara. And the people behind the counter started cracking up, and they were like, PP.
Oh, it was really cute. Yeah, so the ads are everywhere. I highly recommend.
It's so fun. It's truly so fun.
Also, the other thing that we stumbled upon while we were walking around was a birthday cafe.
Yes. So we also went to a birthday cafe. So many fan experiences so quickly.
You see a cardboard cutout. For this one, it was Park from Jamundi,
which was very cute and exciting because I hadn't seen any Park anywhere. So I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I think when you see a new BL boy,
you get desensitized so quickly to the like BKPP Win. Yes.
When you see a print of we at no point have seen them in person at these things.
Correct.
It's always like, so they had 2 cardboard cutouts of Park, which you'll see in our stories if you've watched our stories. And so it was really cute because we were like, wait, we know that. Because there's also a lot of like tuk ads with like Chinese
So we
saw
ads, like a tuk ad for Nat's birthday, right? It's Nat's birthday.
Yeah,
you know.
And there's a lot of like Korean celebrity ads everywhere.
Honestly, it's just really exciting. And you look like such a dork, but like I really don't care because every time we see a boy, we just like point and scream his name, and people definitely think that we're out of our minds.
I mean, yeah,
but we are.
I mean, Off Jumpol broke you, so
Off Jumpol
that's your
did break
excuse forever.
Are we moving into the Love Out Loud Fan Fest now?
No, because we should continue on with like the malls and stuff. We've touched on this a little bit. The brand deals. So anytime you go into an Even Boy or a beauty shop,
just that you see the ads everywhere.
Yeah, if you look around, you'll see the brand deals. The store specifically, like Miss Dean, which is what Zinunu just got a brand deal with, their entire store is like the cardboard cutout of Zinunu is out front. You have like posters on the store. So if you know a boy has a brand deal with a specific brand, go find that store.
Right.
Usually there'll be a cardboard cutout. Yinwar at Laneige.
Yeah, Yinwar's everywhere at Laneige.
Everybody was very upset that I didn't let you steal the
I'm going to do it. Listen, I still have a lot of time in Thailand. I will leave here with a Yinwar standee. Mark my words.
I love that so much.
One time I did carry back a Zayn of One Direction cardboard cutout all the way from New York City back to my home in Texas. So if you think I can't get Yinwar from Thailand to America.
Hey, listen, I fully flat Stanley'd if you know who that is. Actually, they still do flat Stanley. So it has stood the test of time. I flat Stanley'd a Zac Efron from literally North Carolina to Alabama to California to New York City. And now he lives somewhere in New York City.
If you love Yinwar enough, anything's possible.
Yes.
So
so again, brand deals. If you know a boy has a brand deal, go find that store. You'll see all the things.
Yes.
And a lot of times you'll get like cards if you buy the stuff, kind of like
we haven't done this.
We have not, but in like I do know specifically with like NCT for Nature Republic, like you get stuff.
Right.
So I'm sure like if a boy
we'll
has a
test
brand deal,
and update you and let you know if that's true.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about the concert.
We're gonna talk about Love Out Loud, which here in Thailand they call them fan meetings, not concerts. Although it's just a concert.
This one was called a fan fest,
right?
Because it was truly
a festival. Truly. So, okay, let's start from the beginning, the experience of it all. Buying tickets internationally. It was a struggle. We had to fight for our tickets. You just have to keep refreshing, right? Which was a crazy thing because we got to a point I remember we were like, we're just not going to get tickets to this thing. Like, we tried and it's not going to happen.
Because we both were online. We were both trying to get them. I knew my credit card wouldn't work.
Right.
Ayla was the only one that had a credit card that would work. So eventually we got in, and if you see that they're all sold out, just refresh, because a lot of people will like lose the tickets and whatever.
Right. And so we ended up getting floor seats.
It was under my account, but we used Ayla's credit card. So you do have to make sure you have all the things. Although they didn't check
anything, right? They sent us this whole email like, you have to have all this stuff and you have to have all these things. And literally they checked nothing.
You just needed an ID.
Yeah.
So just an ID to prove that it was
an ID of the person, right, whose name they're under.
You had the email confirmation and then my ID.
And so it's actually really cute because the tickets, when we went and picked them up, obviously, are like little cards.
Yeah.
Not like a paper ticket like we get in America.
And I wish we brought it down.
Little credit card type of things. Like a subway card. Like a subway card. And it's really, really cute and it's really nice. It's like high quality. So it's super awesome.
And they stamp it every time you
pick up your fan benefits.
Yeah, like you pick up your fan benefits when you go inside the venue.
Right,
all
they
that
click
kind of
you.
Stuff.
Yeah.
They hole punch it. That's what I was looking for.
So the experience, we actually haven't talked about this. So like instead of us talking at the people, we'll be talking to each other for this one, I think. I would say it was way more chaotic than something like this that we have at home, because like I used to go to Warped Tour every year. I used to go to like all of this stuff. So I have been to things like this in America, and there were so many ways that it was the same to me, except this felt like pure chaos. Like there was no order, no rhyme, no reason. There were a lot of information booths. Everyone was incredibly helpful, but it truly was like, and there were people packed in like shoulder to shoulder. It was crazy. And like to the point where we were like we COVID tested now because it's been a couple days now, and like we're both negative, like it's fine. But like everybody was wearing masks too. Not one person took their mask off or complained about it. So 10 out of 10 Thailand. 10 out of 10 to you, Thailand.
I will say the difference with this is that like, so inside the venue, not inside the actual like concert hall, but on the walkway around, every boy had their merch stand.
Right.
And
so if you've ever been to a Warped Tour, it's set up exactly the same way.
And so GMMTV had their merch booth, and without fail, an actor from GMMTV will make an appearance.
Usually. Yeah.
And so when we got there, Jung Dunk was in the booth,
right,
doing all the things. And so I think that added to the crowd, because there was like a ton of people standing around.
It was crazy.
Well, because more boys showed up. There were 2 more boys that we didn't recognize.
Well, but even away from GMMTV, I felt like even all the way over by the Land of Something. So Off's merch booth,
and it was pretty packed.
Was all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Like pretty far away from GMMTV, and like honestly, even all the way over there, it was like shoulder to shoulder. Like you couldn't move. It was crazy. It was really cute to see Astro stuff set up. I love Bright. And so for me, I was like, oh, like I had this like moment of like, oh my God, like this is Bright stuff. It's so cool. And his booth was awesome. I bought the tote bag. He had a really cool line of stuff. I will say, I do think the Valence booth was the fanciest booth.
It was. And what was fun was that Wynn's brother Mick was working the booth after, and it was cute because most people had already bought their merch. And so Ayla was in line for the fan benefits, and I was just like, I saw people running to the booth, so I was like, clearly there's a boy.
There's something there.
And so he was standing behind the booth, and he was like working it, but like nobody was buying anything because people were just watching him do things, and it was very sweet. And so eventually some people would go up and like buy a thing and then ask to take a picture with him. And
because Wynn had Valence had a very like limited merch run for this. It was like accessories. There was like a tumbler and a keychain, and like it was very limited compared to the other booths where like you had like full merch lines. Right. But I will say his booth, Valence, was the fanciest booth. For sure.
So it was Off's Land of Something, Valence from Wynn, Astro Stuff's from Bright. You had No Grass Type, which is a Tay merch collab.
It's not Tay's, but he's like involved in it somehow.
Yeah, it's like his best friend, I think.
Yeah.
Because Tay does a lot of collab things.
Right. Yeah. It was
and
like
then
a Tay collab.
New had some stuff. Chris had some stuff.
Yeah. So Karist was there. Karist B was there.
Yeah. All the sponsors. for the concert had booths. We did a KFC photo booth, which was really fun. And so, yeah, there's
of course the GMMTV booth that had all of the like show merch,
Love Out Loud stuff.
Yeah,
not general GMMTV merch.
No,
just like
it was just
to
for
the
event.
Fest. Yeah. So yeah, you go and you
just go around and buy. And honestly, you do need to get there kind of early because
we had to get there
to register the fan benefits. But if we hadn't, there's no way we would have bought merch and got inside, because I stood in the Astro Stuffs line, which was the shortest line. And it still took a good like 30-45 minutes to get through the 1 to 5 items line, right? Because I was only buying the tote bag.
I know that took forever. I will say,
but I think his credit card system went down. But
that's right.
Yeah, like the GMMTV line went pretty quick once we were in it. It's very much like if you've ever been to a K-pop show where they give you the piece of paper and you mark off what you want and then you just hand it to the people,
which is helpful if you're nervous about a communication.
Although everyone there was like, they understood. There were so many international fans there. The experience of it was crazy. The venue was pretty cool, but it is stressful as somebody that doesn't speak Thai fluently to be trying to navigate this, because it was like outside of the city center. It like was in this venue that to us was set up in a very strange way, right? To where we had to get to the hall to get our tickets, right? Like,
I mean, I thought it felt like a pretty similar small kind of,
but it's like behind
concert.
The building, but like the way that, I mean, the building was set up, like where we had to go was like behind the building with the actual name on it. It was very like, it felt very strange and very stressful,
because it was at Impact Arena, which we all know is where the Ken Porsche concert was, the New Monday concert was, but it's also within this like setup of halls and other venues. So like there's the arena, but then there's like 10 other venues within this area. So for example, like in San Francisco, in like the heart of the city, there is an arena, like an event center, but then there's a bunch of other event centers around it. So you kind of have to navigate exactly which event center. So we had to pull up a map because the Impact Arena is kind of at the very end of the corner of where we need to go. And of course, there's like tons of traffic and tons of people. There's a ton of
and then there's something in front of it called the Isan Arena, which is different.
Right. And so navigating it. However, they had a ton of information booths. All of the people, all of the GMMTV staff were super nice. Everybody's wearing a lanyard that tells you who they are. Either they're a booth or a GMMTV person. And it's like so helpful.
One more story about this, and then I feel like we need to get into the thing people actually want to hear about, which is the concert and the photo. You know, we won't waste your time. We're already like so far into this episode. We saw Joss, and I don't think anybody else saw Joss. So like we're standing there. We were waiting to take a picture with the Off gun cutout. So they had these like really cool like cutouts that were like in the theme of the Love Out Loud, which was like a space theme. And they were like all lit up, and it was really pretty.
It was so funny.
And the Off gun one had like a really short line, and like everybody knows I love Off. Like I'm obsessed with Off Jumpol. And so I was like, oh, let's take a picture with this because like we had time, whatever. And we're waiting in line to take a picture with this Off gun cutout, which like ironic that like I waited in line to take a picture with a cutout of Off when I get to this story, y'all.
It was a whole night of Off.
And I turned around and I just like, for some reason, I don't know why I turned around. I just like, you know, was looking around because there was so much happening. It was like overwhelming. Like if you have like if you get like over like if you have sensory issues, like this is not the place for you.
I wonder if it's because we haven't done this thing in 2 years. Like this felt like a normal concert experience or like a festival.
So chaotic, so much more chaotic than what I'm used to with like Warped Tour and all of the other big stuff I've ever been to.
Outside too.
Right.
And so an inside concert, because like, you know,
but this, so to be transparent, all the merch stuff was like open air.
It was underneath.
It was covered, but it was open air.
It's kind of like when you go to a stadium in the States, a K-pop stadium, for example.
Or, for example, if you go to a sports game, if you go to
and they're inside that like the like walk around track.
If you've ever been to any of the soccer stadiums in the United States of America, set up exactly the same. I've been to most of them. Most of the MLS stadiums in America, they're all pretty much set up the same. This was very similar. But so I don't know. I turned around just because there was like a lot happening, and I was just, you know, looking around, and I saw Joss, and I clocked him immediately, and I just grabbed you and I just go, Joss, because like
it all
we were
so
having
quickly.
to like repeat things to each other over and over again because with the masks and the noise level, like half the time, like honestly, you probably didn't hear half of what I said that day. Right. I probably told you so much stuff and you probably got none of it.
Totally.
And so, but also I didn't want to yell his name and like make a scene because he was just, it was him and one dude, like one security dude through this like giant crazy crowd.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where he was going.
He was going somewhere, but
because I imagine a lot of people, if you go to these GMMTV things, there's always actors there,
right?
And people are like pretty chill.
But the thing about Joss is he's not a BL actor, right? And so unless you count Through Will Be Free, right? But that's the big debate. The debate is Through Will Be Free a BL?
Except shout out to Joss and Luke because Joss doing the most.
Oh right, Joss is trying to be a BL boy, but like he's not there yet. Like we'll get you there, boo.
We're gonna start that campaign soon. Don't you worry.
So yeah, that was fun to see Joss, and he walked right by, and he was super close. Like it was pretty crazy. Yeah. It was cool. Okay,
so pay attention because there's
boys everywhere.
Which in the concert. So we get into the hall and it's set up. We were on the floor. Everybody sits down. So if you're from the States, we've talked about this a lot. Just the two of us, that when you go to K-pop concerts in the States, you always hear the K-pop artists be like, the energy is just so much because we stand up the entire, even if there are seats,
right? You stand up
at a concert the entire time. However, here, everybody sits down the entire time,
which honestly,
is nice for Ayla because
it's nice for me. I'm so short, I could actually see. It was very cute.
Tower over everyone, always.
But it was. Honestly, I didn't like it. I didn't love it. I would rather have to strain to see because eventually, and honestly, God bless Bright. He is the shining star. Truly,
I mean, you can't sit down for Post Malone.
He fully was like, "Can everybody just stand up?" Like literally midway through like Bright Wind's set, which they were the last ones.
And it took a second because people are like,
people were very confused. Me and Beth Ann were like, "Yes,
yeah,
because I was so sore at that point. Because this is like a 4-hour concert and it started late, and I was like sitting in a seat for that long is too much.
And they're those awful church seats that have zero cushion and are like,
so they're not the folding chairs, they're like hard. Actual like these kind of chairs we're sitting in, but metal.
They have a tiny cushion, but like,
and they connect to each other, right? They clip into each other, so they don't really move around. But yeah, God bless Bright because he was like, stand up, y'all.
On seats there were light sticks which they controlled by Bluetooth, so that was really cool because you got like fun. Similar
you could
to the
see everything, you could see the light show,
similar to the K-pop experience with the light stick. They control it, and you, like, do
but they gave you the light stick, which was cool, right? You didn't have to like buy it and bring it in. So that was really fun. Okay, another experience. So let's talk about one more experience and then I want to rank the stages. Okay, the fan clubs.
Yes.
That was so cool to see and like experience in real life.
So we knew going in that the fan clubs had bought the ring of seats that are the second level technically. Right. So we're floor. First level, I guess, is the ring of seats. And then you have upper level. And so we had seen that all the fan clubs had bought chunks of these seats. So every section during every couple stage had lit up whatever their fan thing was. They're hilarious because they were fully clowning Chris Singto because there were 3 different fan projects that they had done. Like most people had like the light up, kind of like you see where they spell out their names with like the light squares. But for Chris Singto, they had something in Thai, which I really need to figure out what it said because I think they were like,
and it was individual boards. And so when it lit up, honestly, the entire stadium glowed green. It was crazy.
But here's why they clown them is that it's Chris Singto, but then they had boards that said SK, which was Singto Chris. And as soon as I think Chris saw it from stage, he was like, guys.
Chris Singto was really interesting, but we'll rank the stages later.
Tainu, they spelled out Tainu, which was very cute.
They spelled out
Bright Wind. They had like
80 sections.
They had top and bottom sections. So like it was there again, there are photos we will post.
Also, we'll rank the stages, but interesting the popularity. Not what it matches with international fans in Thailand. Does not match.
First, tell us who you think the popular ones.
We'll give you a minute. We'll give you a minute, right? So the 4 pillars: Tainu, Afghan, Chris Singto, and Bright Wind. Who do you think in order is like of popularity? We'll give you a minute.
Now that I think of it, they almost rank them in order by how they went during the concert.
Yeah.
Except I would say the two middle
interchangeable. But yeah, okay. But now that you've ranked your 4 in terms of who do you think is the most popular, we're gonna tell you. Brightwin by far. Oh my god. I'm still deaf. I have permanent hearing damage. Truly. Like when they would just show his picture on the screen and it like I swear you could hear it from America.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy to me. Interestingly, the least popular ship was Tainu.
Yeah. And New
specifically was the least popular boy there.
And
weird.
Love New.
Yeah. And I feel like everybody who doesn't love Taetawan, but people were not into it.
I would say
it was so weird.
Offgun and Christingto interchangeable in popularity.
I was freaking out during Offgun. Like I was having like a full meltdown.
Yes. Every stage was incredible.
Okay, so what was the best stage, do you think? What was your favorite of the 4? So the way that it worked is they each had a couple stages where they opened with all 8 boys doing a thing, doing a song. And then they had a couple stage where within the couple stage, they did some solos, they did some duets. And then every now and then they would have a collab stage with like the couple that was going on after them. Yeah. That didn't happen every time. And so of the 4 stages, which one was your favorite?
Oh, you want me to just do my favorite? You don't want to rank them?
I feel like that's mean. But sure, rank it. Who cares? Hot take.
We love a hot take. I loved every single stage for very different reasons.
Yeah. But
truly the one that was like the most, it's so hard because here's the thing is that we know quite a few Thai songs, but like Brightwin sang the most English so you could like sing along.
And
it
was spoken
and
English.
We stood up.
I mean, again, we never assume that like we're in Thailand, but it felt very nice. We're sitting there this whole time, just kind of bumbling our way through this experience.
And what's interesting is they sub the live stream. They do not sub it, or they like half sub it in the venue on the screen,
which
because there are quite a few international.
There were a lot of international fans.
International meaning outside of Thailand, right? So a lot of Japanese, a lot of
there
Indonesian.
were a couple Korean girls sitting in front of us.
Yes, and so.
Okay, rank.
Okay. Oh, it's so hard.
I feel like I could do mine. Okay, I'll do mine.
Yeah.
I'll let you think. Okay.
It's so hard.
Number 1, Offgun. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Everything they did was so fun.
Also, all of GMMTV were in a booth kind of like right beside
above
us, the VIP booth. And watching them watch Offgun was probably...
It was amazing.
Like, you could tell Offgun are
the
popular kids.
Yeah. Offgun was my favorite because it was such a fun set from start to finish. Yes. And I love like a high energy set. Yes. I don't love a ton of ballads personally. So
Tainu do.
Yeah. My second favorite was Tainu because I mean Tainu.
The floating stage.
But also they opened with I Just Wanna Ben Fan.
Yeah.
And I love that song because I'm very into Proxy lately, and Proxy just covered that.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was so nice because literally the show opened with a song I knew. And so I was just like, it made me really excited. Yeah. And it was Tainu. So yeah, second is Tainu. Also, they were really funny. Like I didn't know what they were saying the whole time, but like Tay was really funny.
Shout out to Renee who was live messaging us because she was watching the stream.
And so she was able to tell us what was happening.
Telling us because Tay just clowned everybody during his because they would MC in between
while the other boy was
sets.
Getting changed,
and so Tay was just clowning everybody while New was getting changed.
So my third favorite, it's so hard for the last two. I'm gonna say Brightwin.
Yeah.
The Brightwin stage was really fun for me. It was a lot. It was like songs that I knew.
Yeah.
Like covers that I knew.
Yeah.
It was really cute. Bright is, I think, an amazing performer. Like he understands how to work a crowd. He understands what a concert should be. And he really is like, he's a performer. He's such a performer. And I love that. And I just love Bright. Yeah. I've been a Bright fan since I saw Together.
Yeah.
I always loved Bright. And then Christingto, it was hard for me because, like, the Christingto, if you have read what happened, I'm not going to say the words.
No, don't do it.
I'm not going to say it.
No, don't
I can't say it.
No.
But if you know what happened at this concert.
There were a lot of emotions.
There was a lot of emotions. It was really intense.
Also, everything was implied. There's no actual.
There was a lot happening during that stage that was just fascinating.
There were actual tears from Chris.
From like a fascination point of view, I was like, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Chris, though, is also an amazing performer. Like, Chris has crazy chemistry on stage. Right? Like, say what you will about Chris. Listen, it is what it is. He's an outstanding performer. Like, he's 100%. Good at his job.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my order. Afghan, Tainu, Brightwin, Chris Singh.
Okay, the thing that I'm having trouble with is I love Tainu. Right. I love that they came out and did.
They had a man chandelier.
I mean, truly. Okay. It's going to be Tainu for me, number one. I loved their duet song that they did at the beginning. And then Afghanistan, because
it was
also
fun.
Gun doing the Pixie song.
Oh right, Gun did.
What's the name of that song?
Not Too Cute.
Yeah, it's like cute something.
Cute something. Anyways, y'all know the one that's like this.
I want to look it up.
And then they do this.
Yes. It's a Pixie song. I think it's Too Cute. Oh, they did a Too Cute song, but not Too Cute
to handle.
Yes. Okay, so
because that would have been too cute to handle.
So Tainu first, Off Gun, Brightwin, Chris Singh. Chris Singh were just everybody was incredible, and I loved everything. But of course, in order of like preference and just enjoyment from our side, Chris Singh was very emotional. They were very just like emo.
If you didn't have an emotional connection to that ship, it would be really hard to get attached to the stage.
Yes.
Because it was very much for their fans, which I love.
Tainu did a lot of ballads, and it's hard at a concert to like listen to ballads for a lot of time. But like, y'all, Tainu, both Tay and Nu, very much individually, even if Nu is not the most popular.
Fan meeting was great. The concert, loved every minute of it.
Again, the experience of it is so crazy because you have everything happening on stage. The way the stage was set up is that it was a T stage, and then there were steps to the first ring. And so you could, the boys were literally like 10 rows in front of us, and then we're like up in the crowd, which was really cool.
The craziest thing, though, actually was watching Jung and Dunk and Louis. And I remember when we clocked Louis and we saw him, I literally saw tears in your eyes. I literally saw tears in your, like, you didn't actually start crying, but I saw tears.
I'm about to start crying now. I think of Louis and I like have a crisis of like emotion. And so when we actually when I was like, oh my God, Louis in the same room as me, I was like, this is not okay.
Half of the time I was just turned around because they were like catty corner to us basically. So like
50 feet.
Yeah. And we could see them very clearly.
Yeah.
So half the time I'm literally just going like this. Like during the concert, like I finally just gave up. I stopped caring because I was like, this is rude. I should watch it. No, I was like this
because it was a lot. It was a lot during Off Gun
but they were so cute about it. They were just so cute.
You could definitely tell who, the popular kids at GMMTV are because Off Gun. I think everyone really
because Off Gun very much take care of all those young boys. Yeah.
Well, in Safe House, right?
Safe House. They all know them. They're all little buddies.
Louis and Off bonded.
Friends. I mean, me and Off bonded. Oh. So I understand.
Okay.
So are we moving on?
Perfect transition. The concert was incredible. It was about 4 hours long, which
it did start late. We were like, oh, this will start on time because it's a huge production. It did not start on time.
The theme was again
space. Oh yeah, there was like a UFO.
There were some cool VCRs.
Yeah.
It was again, if you can go to a performance, we talk about this a lot. I think more so behind the scenes that some BL boys should not be singers and performers. But truly GMMTV has gems and they can all sing.
And they have a great music coach in Green.
Crew Green.
Yeah.
And honestly, 10 out of 10, enjoyed every stage. At no point was I like, oh my gosh. And here's the thing is that they know you're there to see boys, just like with K-pop, and they're not going to sing live a lot of times. There were quite a few times where you could tell they weren't.
Off Gun stage, they were so hot, they were jumping around.
They're dancing and they're doing all the things.
They were doing literally aerobics.
Yeah,
at one point.
Shout out to anybody who does a concert. Don't make them sing live.
Yeah,
that's not why we're there.
Yeah,
this is not.
The dancers were amazing too. Shout out Mix, not
Yes.
Sahapa.
Yes.
But Mix, the choreographer who choreographed the dancers, because they had these amazing backup dancers that really like kept the energy up.
Yeah, they were incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so after
ends,
the concert ends,
I was wristbanded.
Everybody leaves the hall, and luckily all the booths stayed open at the end.
Yeah,
a lot
so
of stuff was
merch
sold out,
yeah.
but you could buy merch after. And so I hung out. It took a minute for them to actually get people into
So I had to rush
the hall.
I'll talk about this experience because it was a lot. So they told me when they wristbanded me for this picture to go to gate 1. So I like rushed over to gate 1 because in the States, when you do this kind of thing, like it's like if you're not here within 15 minutes, we're going in and like sucks to be you. Holy cow, you guys. So first of all, they had you, so each wristband was numbered and they had us go in order of number, which actually is really smart. I wish more people did that because and they had us like self number, whatever. But it was this like cramped space and the lines were too long. And so like nobody really knew where to stand. Also, so many international fans and not everyone spoke English and then not everyone spoke Thai. So like amongst the fans, there was some confusion about
during the concert.
What do I do? How do I do this?
Yeah. So during the concert, they translated everything from Thai to English to Chinese.
Right.
Those were the 3.
But there were a lot of languages going on specifically in my line, the line I was in, that there was like some confusion every now and then about like, how to, or even within the fans, like how to organize ourselves because we didn't all speak the same language. We figured it out though, and then it took so long. Oh my god, I don't know. And at some point there were like paramedics there and we were just like, what is taking so long? At one point a security guard came through and it was actually really cute. He was like nong 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 to everyone and like making everyone sit down. He was calling everyone nong, which I like being called nong in Thailand because like as a certified old, I like, it makes me feel good about myself,
right? Because there are different fan benefit levels, so they kind of have to clump you and organize you because you said that there were people actually inside where they were taking photos that were watching, so they let people watch. And I think those were the top people tier that took their photo first, because the top tier, the 6,500 baht level, you got 10 to 8. You got a photo with them of 8 pillars and 10 people, right? So like less people in your picture. And I think they took their pictures first and then they seated them so that they could watch everyone else take their pictures. And I think that's what was taking so long, because they left and then they had them come back in. Right. I was like kind of standing to the side and I saw them like leave and go back in. Because my favorite thing about this is the photos, the 20 to 8, which is what I had, because we had like the next level down. Yeah. Was emceed by Gaji and Wave. That's so like cool. I heard Gaji's voice when I was walking up and I was like, surely that's not like Gaji. And then when I started to like inch inside, I saw her on stage and I was like, oh my God, it's Gaji. The fact that they make you walk on stage to take any type of picture with any type of celebrity is just rude, because the fact that you have to navigate stairs to them and then after them, like how do people not break their legs? Maybe that's why the paramedic was there. Maybe somebody like broke themselves. I mean, I almost need a paramedic afterwards, you guys. I'm not even kidding. Like I was like shaking. I was like, I'm not gonna make it down these stairs. Okay, so you walk into the room. So we walk into the room. All the boys are seated. So as soon as you get into the doors, before you're up on the stage, they're checking your wristband. You can get checked like 80 times. You have to put your phone away. Like every couple feet there was somebody looking at your wristband. You have to put your phone away. They were checking, right? And like every few feet there was somebody like making sure you weren't taking your phone out. And you had to have your mask on. Right. And there was every few feet making sure there were masks on, right? So like they very much were like checking the benefits. And so we go around and like the closer I get, the more I feel like my stomach start hurting more and more. Like the closer I get, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And so, but then I was like, Wave. So I got distracted momentarily because awesome. I was like, Jude my Kutong Pa. Yes. I was like, I definitely got distracted momentarily because Jude my Kutong Pa. But then we get up on the stage, we're in these lines and they have 3 lines up on the stage and the boys are on stage sitting in chairs. Yeah. And I'm going to have to wait till the pictures come out because I don't remember if there were chairs on the other side, but the order from farthest from where you're about to go on stage to you was New, Tay, Christ, Singto, Gun. No, where's Brightwin? Right, Bright. So Christ, Singto, Bright, Win, Gun, Off. Yeah. Off was the closest to us. So if you've listened to the podcast before, I wasn't there, but I've heard this story 10 times. So I feel like I can fill in the blanks where you like are broken. Yeah.
So if you've listened to the podcast before, you understand that like that was already a lot for me to just even be that close. And
they don't have masks on.
No, they were not wearing masks.
Their full face.
And I fully was like making jokes that like I was gonna like throw a bow to get to stand next to Off, but the way that they were doing it, that wasn't possible. Like there was no way to manipulate standing where you wanted because they had us in order of wristband number and they were filing you in. So there was no way to manipulate how you wanted to stand or where you wanted to stand. So I'm like, I'm gonna be in this picture, like I'm gonna see them, like this is crazy because like I kept joking, like I'm gonna breathe there.
Yes.
And so,
because you know that you're going to get any type of interaction because with K-pop, we've done high touches. Like you see them, you interact with them.
Well, and I could see them because they had 3 lines, right? So they would like pull a line up, those line would go out, they would put then, and then they would fill in the next line, right? So that it was going really quickly.
Right.
And so we walk up, they're filtering our line in, and this security guard points at me. He just like big point like this, right? Like he points at me and he goes, Farang, which is the Thai word for foreigner.
Yes.
And I know enough Thai, shout out William, to know that that means foreigner. So I knew he was talking to me.
Yes.
He was pointing at me, but also he said Farang, and I am a foreigner. And I'm very clearly a foreigner, right?
Which that word can mean 2 very different things depending on how you use it. So it could mean something negative.
I think he was just identifying me, right? Because like I was the only foreigner that was obviously a foreigner in that line, right? Because like I have red hair, I have blue eyes. I have very, very blue eyes. I have eyelash extensions right now, so they look really big, right? Like there are a lot of reasons to be able to tell very easily that I was a farang.
Yes.
And so I knew he was talking to me. He came to me, and in this moment, I black out. Because
she didn't voluntarily sit next to Off, which is what he told her to do.
So he points at the chair next to Off and he says there. And so I walk up to it and Off is standing there, and all of the boys, because they're filtering people to stand behind them, all of the boys were stood up, turned around, saying hello to the people who are standing behind them, which is very nice, right? Yes. So that you as a fan get your fan interaction. Yes. And so I'm just sort of standing there next to Off for a second, and he's not paying attention to me at all because he's turned around talking to the fans, which is so nice. And I'm just standing next to Off, and I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening. Okay, so I'm standing there next to Off, and I'm just standing there for a second. So I confirm with the guy because in my brain, I'm like, okay, surely I can't sit right next to Off, right? Yeah. Like, surely, because like I have a mask on.
Meanwhile, I'm like, you just sit on his lap. If he points to Off, like you just are like, yeah, let's do the thing.
I am a respectful ass bitch. Okay. And so I was like, surely I can't sit directly next to him because again, these are church chairs. If you remember church chairs, right? They click together. Yeah. And so they're like
you're shoulder to shoulder,
right? So it's like, like literally
you're on top of each other.
If you're watching, if you're watching the podcast, not listening,
you're shoulder to shoulder.
And so I pointed the seat and I was like, here. And the guy was like, yeah,
she sits one chair apart from him.
So I walked to the chair apart from him and the security guard is like, no, there.
He's like, don't you understand? I'm telling you to be next to Off Jumpol. You sit next to Off Jumpol.
I sit down next to Off isn't sitting. He isn't seated yet. He's still standing up. So I sit down and I'm just sitting there for a minute and I just like, I have my purse on my lap because I was expecting to be standing. So I have my like big ass purse, which I should have left with Beth Ann, but I was expecting to be standing. So I didn't think it was a big deal. And so like my purse is on my lap and I'm just like sitting there for a second and I just am, there's a crowd there and Gaji and Waver there. There's a lot happening. And I'm like,
okay. So Off sits down.
So Off sits down.
If you didn't think it was chaotic until this point, anyway.
So Off sits down and I can feel him next to me. Like he's not touching me at this point. And I'm like squeezing my whole body. I'm like, don't touch him. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. But I, like when you can feel someone's presence next to you, right? Like on an airplane, on the train, whatever.
He's in the building. You can feel his presence.
And so I was just sitting there. I'm like, and so we're sitting there for like a hot minute because they're arranging people in the back to like make sure they're standing right and you can see them, whatever, in frame. And Wave and Gaji are doing like an MC thing. So they're like making jokes, whatever, doing the stuff. Yep. And Off, eventually, he turns and looks at me. And so I'm short. And so we're sitting at the same like seat level, but he of course is like towering over me. Yeah. And so he turns and looks at me and with as close as he was to me, his face is like here, like mere inches from my face.
Yes.
Mere inches from my face. And so all I see are eyes. Like I see just like, like Off's face, like his facial features, just like right in my face. And that's all I see. And he smiles at me and he does this like goofy Off smile. Like the
whole concert smile. He was doing the goofy Off smile.
Like he does like the goofy Off smile. And I just start laughing. Like my reaction was to start laughing. I wasn't like laughing hysterically, but I was like giggling. I started giggling.
Yeah.
And so I think in that moment he realized like I've broken this poor girl. I think he was like, this farang is dead now.
Yeah. Plus he's like, I have no English, so let's not even bother.
Yeah. And so I swear to God, I'm not even kidding. And there's photographic evidence to back this up.
I cannot wait to see these photos.
He leans into me. I feel, so I can see him out of my proofs, and Wave has said, okay, we're going to take the picture, my darlings. He was calling everyone my darlings. It was very sweet. I loved it.
Wave Koo, come on the podcast.
And I feel off shoulder push into me. And I realize that he's leaned into me. Off has leaned into me. Like he does one of these to like lean on me. And at this, and how in life do you exist? I don't anymore. And so I lean into him because of like, why would you not?
Obviously.
And so I tilted my head in like towards him, and he tilted his head towards me because like I'm wearing a mask, so you really like you're only gonna be able to see my eyes. They're probably like basically closed.
It took about a week for the Om to Non photos to come out, so potentially it'll take about a week for these photos to come out, and we're so excited.
And so then, in the best turn of events ever, Wave is like, we're gonna take a second picture. And so Off continues to be leaned into me. He straightens his head and he goes like this and points at me. And I do one of these, and we take the little picture and we stand up and we just kind of look at each other for a second. And I was like, I start to walk the wrong way, and the security guard has to turn me around. It's like my brain's broken. The security guard literally physically turned me around. Like he touched my body and like physically turned me around because I was walking the wrong way. Because like I was broken.
I mean, Ayla does this, and she like we did a Pentagon high touch together, and
I fell down in front of Jen.
One time she fell down. The second time I went in front of her and she fully stepped on me multiple times. I like lost a shoe. There were multiple things that happened.
Yeah, I'm the worst. Don't go anywhere with me.
She should not be trusted. She needs like assistance through these high touches.
Basically, don't go to concerts with me is what Beth Ann's telling me. She regrets every moment of it.
No, I'm telling you that like when you see people that you love and adore, you never know how you're gonna act. I get really shaky. So like my body just starts convulsing.
But so
you're
that's
just like blackout.
So I was like, I was broken. And so then you walk along the back and you're like, you say goodbye to everybody. And similarly to how they said hello to everybody who walked up, they were saying goodbye to everybody that they didn't get to talk to right when they left. And it was really cute interaction actually. Because,
you made eye contact with Gunn.
Yes. I made and he is just as ethereal and beautiful as you want him to be. He is perfect.
Truly. A doll.
Then the next one I remember was Bright, and Bright was so cute because everybody was whying at each other, and I was whying too, right? And being like, you know, like whatever. And Bright saw me and he switched and he said thank you in English, which is such like a nothing, right? It like he could have said
very sweet.
He could have said Copen Cup and like I would have got that right. I would like
because Win of Brightwin is the one that are like speak the English.
Right. But he saw me and he made this like really intense eye contact and he smiled at me and he said thank you like in English. Like he very clearly was interacting with me, you know, and I felt like he did that with every fan where like he purposely like looked at them and like interacted with that fan, which I thought was so sweet.
There's some artists like that, like Jung is like that, right? Where you can tell he's making eye contact with you and he's very intentional about giving you this experience in this moment. Yes, it's very good.
And so that's what Bright did. And then Chris was really sweet too. Like he very much like did the same thing where he like made the like purposeful eye contact and did the thing. And I'm like trying to go super slow because Tay had his back turned to me and I was like, Tay to one, turn around. And so I'm like trying to like slowly inch and New is just watching me have my eyes glued on Tay. And I noticed New noticing me. And so I finally gave up on Tay and me and New like had a moment and it was really cute.
The last boy in line is always the boy that like you so distinctly remember because he's the last one that you'll see and you're like must hang on to this moment.
And in that moment I was like my legs are gonna give out under me. I was like hard shaking.
Truly the fact that they
hard shaking
make you walk up and downstairs is just rude.
And I remember I finally get out and I like sprint towards you because I was like I need somebody to know that this just happened to me.
Yeah.
And then
I was outside and she ran out and was like, "Oh my God, Off."
Yeah. And then that's it. That's the fan experience. That's the story.
Okay. The concert was 10/10. Highly recommend. If you're so lucky to be in Thailand while one of these fan meetings is going on, go see it. Fight for your ticket. If you're in Thailand when tickets go on sale, you can actually go to Thai Ticket Major stands and get them and stand in line. And you might get a better chance of getting them. But yeah, highly recommend.
Yeah.
Okay. Last we're going to talk about our mall appearances.
We went and saw Jungdunk at the mall Mall because they were having an appearance at Central World. Central, by the way, all the malls are super easy to get to. We started at Terminal 21, and if you go down the BTS line, they're basically all lined up. Yeah. And that same day, we ended up hitting five malls. We did Terminal 21, Central World, Siam Paragon, Siam Square, Siam 1, whatever it's called.
Siam Square, and then Siam
MBK.
1 and MBK.
So we did 5 in one day. Yeah. If you just go down the BTS, you can hit all of them.
They all have very different feels.
Central World, I think, might have been my favorite mall.
I thought MBK was a cool experience.
MBK was a funny experience.
That's where Hunter Village is.
That's where a few other
it's where that LED screen that all the boys go look at their
experience. So it was like a fun experience. But as far as like going to a mall to hang out, I liked Central World the best, I think. But we haven't been to Icon Siam yet or Asiatique. So we'll let you know. Yeah. But so we got there about an hour before the appearance. Yes. There were already fan sites there, but not a ton of other fans lined up. So we could still get a pretty good spot. We decided at one point we were going to be behind the fan sites in the front. And then we decided, no, let's go to the backstage because we were letting people stand there because there was no one there. And we were like, well, at least like we'll see them this way, right? Because the fan sites were all going to stand up and we would have had to fight to see them.
Right, because all the fan sites had put their names and stickers on the floor or had set their stools. So like there were seats taken. And so, we were like, we're gonna watch the appearance, but like we don't need to be because it was set up
there are 4 floors and there are 4 floors, so you could watch from up above, which is what we ended up doing.
So in front of the stage is blocked off, and there's a good like probably 50 feet back, and then of course all the fan sites are going to be there. So we decided to stand backstage because we wanted to have some type of like contact with them so we could be like, hey, we're in Thailand, like, we've talked to you. And so they come over and we're on this barricade, so we're like front row behind
there was no one
stage.
Back there when we got back there. Well, there was a little bit of screaming when they first walked in, but for the most part there wasn't pushing, right? Like how in the States if a celebrity walks up, like there's pushing. There was no pushing.
So Jungdong kind of hung out backstage and like went back and forth. So Ayla had the smart idea to be like, let's pull up the photo of our interview, but because we're wearing masks, they're not really sure. So I had pulled up the photo, and luckily Ayla was smart enough to pull up her
I had started recording when they walked past us because I was like, oh, well, they're going to walk back past us. And honestly, what I was thinking when I was videoing is I was like, this will be good content to post for like the listeners because like it was so close. And so I was like, I'm just going to keep the video going. And I just like set my phone on the barricade. Like it wasn't even in front of my face. I just set it on the barricade.
Right. So then Jung turns around and I had the thing in my hand and I was like, Jung, look, us. We're here.
And we interviewed you. You can hear it on the video. We're both pointing at ourselves and we're just going, us. It's us.
And y'all,
it took him a minute.
I mean, Jung is just magic.
If you watch our vlog from this event, which it'll be out of podcast content, but it'll be up on the same channel. I inserted the footage, like this actual interaction. So you can see his like recognition.
Yes. And so we were like, us, and he's like, you. Cool. And then he brings
goes interview.
He brings Dunk over, or Dunk walks over, and Jung looks at Dunk and goes, interview.
And he points at us. And it takes Dunk a minute
Dunk goes, you're in Thailand.
And he just goes, oh, said hi and bye to us like a couple times after when they were going on to go to stage.
Yeah, and then they make their appearance. It's all in Thai, so it's fun to kind of see. Yeah, so Nun had done this with gameplay a week before, so I kind of knew exactly the order of events. I was like, they're probably going to sing, because Nun sung, they're going to do a little interview, and then they're going to do this, like, food, because it was like a tomato company.
Tomato products, right? So they had, like, pizza sauce and tomato juice and, like, things. All the tomato things.
And so it lasted about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It started about 5 to 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
And so, you just walk around, you do all the things. And it was
cute.
Such a fun.
It was really fun. It was free.
Highly recommend. It's free. Here's the thing about Thailand is or really any travel you do, right? In a big city, there are free things and they're expensive paid things. And so if you want to do all the free things, you can have just as many BL Boy experiences. Go to a birthday cafe, ride a tuk-tuk, go to mall appearances. I mean, there's one every day. We're going to try to go to a golf one.
We are going to try to go to a golf one. That's going to be crazy. If I see golf with my own eyes, I don't even know what I'll do.
Santana and Porsche have appearance on Friday.
That one guy whose name we don't know.
Janitorn. I like to refer to him as his Thai name. And So yeah, again, look at people's schedules. I'm going to try to go to a Xenu one if they have a public schedule. They'll tell you if they're private or public.
Yeah.
They, will post them week of is usually how it works.
Right.
Or a day
just
or
keep
two
an eye
before.
on schedules, right?
Yeah.
Like,
look up your favorite boy and pay attention to where GMMTV posts their schedules a couple of days in advance.
That's the fan experience so far. It's been crazy. We will have so many more. Look forward to the next episode of the podcast where we're going to be with some actors. It's going to be a little interview. It's going to be super fun. It's taco time, you guys, and I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
So we have so much planned for season 3 on location, starting with Thailand. Much more to come.
We have new merch coming soon.
New merch.
Just you wait.
New merch in September, people.
And this has been Let's Talk BL.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow all things Let's Talk BL at Let's Talk BL.